Hey guys, good evening. It is June the 4th, and tomorrow I will officially have a 16-year-old. I I am just shocked and amazed that I am mature enough to have teenage children. I'm not, but I pretend pretty well, I pretend pretty well, if you're asking. Thanks, Wolfram, for doing the Modly Mod stuff. Debbie, good to see you. Good to see you, Captain Kern, and everyone, we have got some news, lots of news, all the craziness. And, it doesn't, well, it's the news. You don't have to worry about whether I'm telling you the truth or not, because y'all know my opinions. Our first story is pretty sad, but I did want to give these two officers the recognition that I think they probably deserve. This probably isn't going to be up on frontline news anywhere else. So here we go. Arizona rookie cop was unalived in the line of duty 18 years after his father also died on duty. Quote, they're probably together, or they're probably patrolling in heaven together. A rookie Arizona police officer was killed in the line of duty 18 years after his father also died on the job, according to a family friend who said that they're probably now patrolling up there in heaven together. Joshua Breesy, 23, was fatally shot early Saturday when he responded to a disturbance at a house party in the Gila River Indian community. He had been a tribal officer with the Gila River Commu- Police Department for less than a year and was still in field training. And I mean, what a positive looking guy. I can't imagine, you know, how this feels for his mom and also, the wife of the first officer that passed away. Eh, some families are just like this. You have a service, a heart for service raised in you, or it calls to you. But like I said, I know this isn't the happiest story, but really I wanted to give these two gentlemen a real, as much as my channel can do, real recognition. His father, David Breesy, had been 36 when he died in a car wreck in 2006 while at work with the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office in Montana. Despite that crushing loss, Joshua grew up dreaming of a career in law enforcement. Family friend Captain Kent O'Donnell, who had worked with the father, told AZ Family. Quote, I actually had to try to talk him out of it a few times, but he had his heart set. He wanted to be a police officer and just wanted to make his dad proud, O'Donnell explained. They're probably driving around patrolling up there in heaven together, and it makes us smile a little bit knowing they're together again. Both David and Joshua, quote, left this world serving their community and doing what they loved, the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office said in an emotional statement. Joshua Breezy was killed when multiple gunshots were fired at a scene of a house party on tribal land around 2 a.m. on Saturday. Kiddos, this is Mama Mo speaking to you. You have two dichotomies after 12 o'clock. Either nothing good is ever going to happen after 12 a.m., or something really good's going to happen, and then 18 years of responsibility. Take your choice. Personally, I'll deal with Pampers all day. I will not deal with adult drunks. But, choose your poison. A second officer was also shot and remains in serious but stable condition on Monday, according to AZ Family. Four other victims were also shot. Al- Allison Apakwa, 23, later died from her injuries. A man and an underage boy have been arrested in connection with the shooting, the Phoenix FBI announced. Tribal leaders also passed a temporary ban on all house parties in the wake of the weekend's shooting. I mean, absolutely a heartbreaking story. I hope that, whatever family he has left behind, people are just supporting them. I can't imagine losing my husband and then my son. but some people are called to service, and it's it's incredibly genuine to see what humans will go through to try to help their fellow human. So, big, big honor to both of these officers who lost their lives in the line of duty, and prayers for their family. Now, ladies, if your husband or ladies, if you ladies like Star Wars, you might be sitting on a gold mine if you have these rare figures. A rare Boba Fett action figure sells for a record-breaking $525,000. So if anyone has a, you know, Boba Fett out there, just think your kids can go to Stanford, or you can teach them how to weld. I mean, an extremely rare Star Wars Boba Fett action figure measuring just 3.75 inches tall was auctioned for a record-breaking $525,000. Heritage Auctions announced that the action figure is now the world's most valuable vintage toy after fetching the massive sum, which includes the buyer's premium at the May 31st Star Wars signature auction. The action figure took the record from a Barbie bearing a 1-carat diamond that sold for $302,000 in 2010. What? Why does Barbie have a carat diamond? We all know G.I. Joe cannot afford that. He's a non-commissioned officer. She's not dating Ken. We know that too. But he is still Knuff. Also, I will never speak of that cursed movie again. Let's see. The hand-painted rocket-firing bounty hunter is one of only two surviving examples made for Kenner's line of Star Wars toys in 1970. The Boba Fett figures were pulled from production before making it to market. Quote, "The rocket-firing Boba Fett action figure long ago became such a mythic icon that people worldwide know about it even though they don't collect anything at all." Heritage Auctions Executive Vice President Joe Medalna said, "We knew this was the only we knew this one had a chance to enter record books, and it was thrilling seeing it become a valuable toy and most valuable toy in the world." A different Boba Fett toy, released in 1979, sold for $84,375 last May 31st. So there you go. If your husband has, well, even GI Joes, we'll work with that. But, just keep an eye on that. Now this dad may not be home until this Boba Fett is done after he did this. But I'm kind of, having not read the article, I'm kind of already on the dad's side. But apparently a dad sucker punched a comedian who made a sexualized joke about his baby son. Let me see if I can figure this one out. I'm going to weigh this, and you don't make fun of people's kids, especially in a gross way. No, no, we do not do that. A wild video shows a Spanish dad sucker punching a comedian on stage for making a vile, quote unquote, sexualized joke about his 3-month-old son on social media prior to the show. The comedian, Jamie Carvacalla, was in the middle of his set in Madrid on Monday night when the enraged dad, Alberto Pigalato, abruptly stormed the stage and pummeled him in the head. Okay, well, I mean, y'all s stay off the social medias, I guess. Ooh. Um, the onstage violence erupted after Carvacalla had responded to a photo that Pugolito, a right-wing activist in music, had posted of his baby over the weekend on X with the caption "Pride and Joy." Oh, sir, you don't mess with people's kids. Like, I don't know if you just hadn't heard this because 'cause you're, doing comedy with a man bun, but no, especially with a guy that looks like he kinda goes to the gym. Well, relatively comparatively. Nothing and no one can prevent the possibility that he is homosexual, and when he grows up, he gets tired of, um, giving a mouth hug to people that are more melanated than myself. Yeah, you don't say that about someone's baby. I mean, I'll just go ahead and give you the Doctor Spock response to that. "That'll not work, Captain." No. So, this guy said something really vile, and then Pugolito quickly fired back, "I assure you that you are going to apologize for what you said about my three-month-old son, and you will discover that real life is not Twitter." Well, I guess when you know, you have to learn how to touch grass once in a while. Following through with his threat, Pugolito then was filmed jumping on stage during Carvacaya's monologue and landing a blow. Y'all, I'm trying to find let me look in my boob pocket and my nope, I just have no damns to give. You don't make fun of someone's baby, especially like that. That is gross and disgusting, and it's not even that funny. It's not even subversive, it's not, you know, you just leave kids alone, especially little babies, because I'm kind of okay with this kind of justice, allegedly in Minecraft. Quote, "Do you think my son was going to eat?" Well, okay, so the dad may have been a little graphical about the thing too, when he was screaming. "Now what? Tell it me to my face, here and now," he added. It wasn't immediately clear if Pugolito would face charges over the on-camera saga. The comedian later addressed the onstage attack, tweeting that he'd received unaliving threats. Y'all, Twitter is not real life. It may seem like it. You may love all of the Twidiots, but let's try to remember that now that we're all being tracked by Lord Saint Apple and Android, if you're gonna talk some people can, maybe look, I'm not a hacker, but maybe just don't run your mouth. Don't get too big for your britches. Think we all need to learn that. Uh, what was intended to be a joke was ultimately an unfortunate and not appropriate comment on my part. My apologies to anyone who feels affected, he said. Let's put violence aside and leave a good world for people to grow free. Isn't that always like it? No, you've got these cry bullies that will moan and whine until someone, maybe critiques them, and then they start crying hysterically like, "She hurt me with her facts." I just leave people's kids out of it, and we'll be good to go. Now, the dad did, respond to the post and said he accepted the comedian's apology. I'm just saying the apology probably tasted better with, some haymaker sauce. Uh, I defend freedom of expression the same way I defend the right to respond. I do not wish you any harm. I hope this helps other understand that children are sacred. All the best. Y'all, it I swear, my boys are just like this. They will be fighting with each other, then wrestle, and then they're the best friend. Women, we are still planning like 5 years ago from now, what we shoulda, coulda done. Boys are like, "Nope, we're done, we're good." In an encouraging update, I didn't cover this story because honestly, it looked horrific, but the UK military horses that were injured after bolting across London in in April, and there were these just terrible pictures of them really covered in blood, so I am glad that they're doing better. They look like they're, having fun, being horse friends. Okay. The 5 military horses that bolted and injured themselves as they ran through central London in April are all expected to return to duty, the British Army said Tuesday, with 3 of them already back to work. The horses were performing routine exercises near Buckingham Palace on April 24th when they became spooked by a noise from a nearby building site and galloped loose through the capital streets, crashing into vehicles and causing chaos during the morning rush hour. The 2 most severely injured horses, Vita and Quaker, are recovering well in the countryside after undergoing operations and are set to return to work soon, officials said. The 3 other horses, named Trojan, Tennyson, and Vanquish, have returned to duty and will likely be able to take part in King Charles's birthday parade on June the 15th. Quote, all 5 of the horses injured during the incident on April 24th are recovering with remarkable speed, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Woodward said. The horses appeared to be in good spirits, the Army added. The soldiers who were injured after being tossed by the horses are also recovering and will likely return to military service too, officials said. The horses were part of the Household Cavalry, the ceremonial guard of the monarch and feature of state functions in London. Video of the animals running wild and stunning commuters on their way to work were widely shared on social media. Oh, Lord. Oh, Squid Pro Quo, I'm glad you made a video. I don't look, I'm not a sports ball person, and if you're lucky enough to be tall and slender, and physically coordinated, I mean, you should just count your blessings. I can barely go upstairs without, falling, so I try. And good evening, Christine and Tammy and Squid Pro Quo. I will have to watch that video, though. Yes, you guys be sure to check out Squid Pro Quo's channel. Captain Kern also has a channel, and I know there's something else that I cannot remember, but one day it will come to me. Oh, and Christine also has a channel. I knew there was a reason. It's been a long day. My, youngest daughter's bonus mom realized that she had left her cell phone here, and I was like, "Okay, that's fine, I can run it down to her," and, it's just a 2-hour drive all round trip. Well, you could if you feel up to it, if you're feeling froggy, I would say go for it, and Captain Kern also has a channel. He makes really cool music, and other things, and he knows how to work one of those, 3D printer things. Look, it has the math and the science, and I can deal with science, I just can't deal with math. So I've gotta I'd love to be able to create things on a 3D printer, but as Mr. Mo is fond of telling me, I need another hobby with junk filling every corner, like I need, well, like I need to do burpees in Walmart, which isn't gonna happen. But I am glad that the horses are doing better. And another blast from the past this morning was the Menendez brothers and Menudo. Let's bring out another true crime, oldie. John Bonet. John Bonet Ramsey's father, John, claims that Colorado police officers said they are just waiting for him to die. I mean, I go back and forth whether I believe someone else did it or I believe they knew what happened. And it's like the, Madeline what's her face's name from England. I'm, like, 57% sure that the parents did it, but I'm willing to be persuaded any other where. John Ramsey, father of slain 6-year-old John Benet Ramsey, continues to keep pressure on the police for nearly 28 years after his daughter's unfortunate death, even though he says authorities are eager for him to stop asking questions. Jean Benet was found, you know, how she was Madeline McCann. There we go. Y'all, the worst thing is trying to not remember. You used to be able to remember things, and now you can't. So we all know that Jean Benet was found, you know, looks like it was she was abused and, you know, strangled with a garrote around her neck uh, in the basement of the family's home in Boulder, Colorado, the day after Christmas in 1996. Boulder authorities initially pointed fingers at John Ramsey and his late wife Patsy Ramsey as suspects based on probable cause, but they were ultimately excluded. Quote, "We heard reliably that one of the members of the police department, and I don't know who, told a journalist, quote, 'We're just waiting for John Ramsey to die.' Ramsey, 80 years old, told Fox News Digital that a May 31st interview at CrimeCon, a true crime convention hosted in Nashville over the weekend, uh, and the implication is the pressure will be off and all this will go away. It's just disgusting, but it's not out of character at all, he added. Paula Woodward, an investigative journalist and author who has been covering the John Bonet case since the early 1990s, also confirmed hearing about this statement from BPD officer during a panel with Ramsey at CrimeCon 2024. Not only have we communicated with the Ramsey family that we have never stopped working to solve this horrible crime and bring justice to John Bonet, but I also regularly communicate with John to give him updates or progress reports and answer questions he has, and this has never come up. Interim Boulder Police Chief Stephen Redfern said in a statement to Fox News Digital. Ramsey says he's not going anywhere regardless. I'm not going to die. Well, I'm going to be around for a good while, Ramsey. I mean, are you running for Senate? The only way to extend your life, Mr. Ramsey, is to run for Senate or the presidency. Because apparently we'll just let y'all stay in there forever. But like, don't tell no one I told you this secret. Uh, 28 years since John Bonet's murder, John continues to push for Boulder Police Department to allow independent forensic genetic company to conduct a DNA test on the existing items in his daughter's case, including a pair of her underpants that tested positive for traces of an unknown man's DNA in 1997. He also wants BPD to hand the case over to the FBI. An autopsy conducted in 1996 revealed that John Bonet died of strangulation and a blow to her head. Boulder City Medical Examiner reported that an 8.5 inch, sorry, fractions are weird. I'm just kidding. An 8.5 inch fracture on her skull. When Woodward submitted a public records request to determine which evidentiary items have been tested for DNA, she learned that several significant items were never analyzed, including the garrote found around her neck, a ransom note found in the Ramsey's house on the morning of the murder, a suitcase found in the basement that authorities believe the killer used to escape out the window, an unknown flashlight found on the Ramsey's kitchen counter the morning of the murder, and an unknown rope that her brother Burke Ramsey had in his room that day, Woodard said at CrimeCon. Ramsey is afraid BPD may have lost some of the items that could have been tested for DNA over the year. I don't know. I Something is really hinky about this case, and before I started watching trials, I'll tell you, I might have been on the state side of everything. You know, like, the state would never bring, you know, charges on a fairly innocent or flimsy case, but it would be interesting to maybe research into this and do a long form story because it is interesting how my perspective has changed as a person and then also hanging around with lawyers. And good to see you, John Gary. I hope you've been doing well. It's been a while. Let's see here. As far as we know, these items have never been tested, Ramsey said. They were taken from the crime scene as possible evidence. We want them tested, and we want them tested by an outside lab for DNA sampling. To my knowledge, that has never been done. Ramsey said it's up to the police chief to decide whether to bring an independent testing firm in. There have been 5 police chiefs at Boulder Police Department since John Bonet was killed. He is also pushing for states to enact the Federal Homicide Victims Families Rights Act so that homicide victims' family members can take action against police departments if their cases go unsolved, since homicides are prosecuted on a state level. Well, I mean, okay, but you already have a Bill of Rights. Okay, call me crazy, but no one has the right to unalive anyone else. Therefore, you're being we just need to go back to just not trying to make criminals the victims, and I really don't like adding more legislation on top of legislation. I mean, tax code is, like, this big, I think, so I don't know. The family always seemed a bit weird. Unfortunately for the brother, he did not look the greatest on, Dr. Phil. In 1997, Boulder County District Attorney asked famed Colorado detective Lou Smith, who had boasted more than 200 solved homicide cases, to assist with the John Bonet case. Oh, total tangent, total tangent. If you guys like police procedurals, semi-realistic, Joe Kenda, uh, homicide detective, I like it. Now, I might say that the guy who plays young Joe Kenda is also a little bit smexy, but I can't even get Mr. Mo to watch that. And Captain Kern, absolutely. It's that's what I don't quite understand. If he has all this money, he can't pay for this. And maybe there's more things that I don't know, and I'm not a lawyer. I only listen to Lionel Hutz on the weekends. So I don't know if there's, state things that go, "Oh, good. Okay, I love Joe Kenda." Mr. Mo is like, "Ugh." Okay, y'all, I'm beginning to think I'm the dude in our relationship because I want to watch either, Mayday Disaster in the Air or Joe Kenda Homicide Detective. And Mr. Mo's like, "Can't we just watch Bobby Flay?" I'm like, "At least I don't make you watch Hallmark movies." I don't know. Uh, I really I don't know how I feel about the Ramseys, and I think it's because I've gone through such a weird kind of transition. I think that when I was younger, I just thought, "Wow, these this scary person came into this girl's house," and I didn't really look, if you are somewhere in south of the Mason-Dixon line, you might be expected to, put your child into beauty pageants. Now, not me, but that's because I was never Miss Congeniality. So I can understand, look, some people like sports, some people like pageants. I'm not big into it. Some people are furries and they're happy with it. So I just try to live and let live. But it's really to me. In other news, Mo is going to be taking up magnet fishing. I'll see y'all later. It did seem odd to write, like, a three-page ransom note, ostensibly from a notepad that was within the house, so you're sitting here like, "Doth thou expectest me to do this not with me?" I mean, there's no way. I None of that case makes sense, and unfortunately, I think that Boulder police this is my basic premise and thought about it. Boulder police allowed a bunch of people to trample in this crime scene they didn't know was a crime scene until hours later, and by then there'd been so much cleaning and, fiddling with stuff that I'm not sure they could have gotten a good read on it, but I wish they would take a look at DNA if there is some that can finally look, parents schmerents, let's find who did this to John Bonet. I mean, the mother's already passed, the father is gonna have to run for Senate to, extend his life like the, freaking keeper of the Holy Grail, so but I'll be out magnet fishing, y'all. A couple finds a safe containing $100,000 while magnet fishing in Queens, and look at that absolutely awesome cowboy hat. A New York City couple got the surprise of a lifetime while magnet fishing in Queens, a safe containing about $100,000. James Kane and Barbie Aganosti visited Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens last Friday, tossed their rope fishing line with a powerful magnet on the end into the stream and pulled out a safe. After opening it, the couple found clusters of water-damaged $100 bills that amounted to about $100,000. While it was not the couple's first time catching a safe, they had never hooked one with treasure inside, so they contacted the New York Police Department to report their discovery in case it was part of illegal activity. Oh, and they're good. I like it. The couple said the NYPD told them they could not connect the safe to a crime because the money was in poor condition and there were no IDs or hints of who the item belonged to originally. I mean, dang it. You find $100,000 and you have to wash it off like the Adelsons. Dang it. It still doesn't feel real, Kane told ABC News of their six-figure find. Although they made a huge haul with their magnet and rope, the couple faces a long road ahead before cashing in. The money could deteriorate more with touch, and Gnosti said of the waterlogged bills, their next step, they said, is to take the crumbling money to the Treasury Department in Washington, D.C., where they believe it can be reconstructed. I didn't know you could reconstruct money. I thought we just reprinted money all the time for gajillions of dollars. Kane and Agnosti became interested in magnet fishing during the illness that will not be mentioned and bought their first kit in 2023. Through magnet fishing, you can get rich, clean the environment at the same time, Kane said. Some of their previous finds have included force multipliers, a grenade, a full-sized motorcycle, and a drone. I mean, okay. Could y'all find every single pair of socks that I've lost since this week? That would be very helpful for me. The pair have been documenting their fishing adventures on YouTube. I know I love them, they're YouTubers. People enjoy watching you take garbage out of the water, especially in the heart of New York City. So there you go. Fellow YouTubers doing something outside, which I don't know if I'm gonna ever do, but, some people have to go outside of the neighborhood. I'll just stay here. It would make the sock gremlins very upset. And considering the underwear gremlins have, corroded all the boys' underwear, y'all, swear to goodness, these this my son had a pair of underpants with more hole than waistband, and he's like, "Mom, it's okay. It'll be good for another 2 washes." And I'm like, I said, "No, if your underpants get all that holy, you need to throw them away." And he's like, "Well, I don't understand why there's a pocket in there." Y'all, some days I'm like, "Jesus, take the wheel," because what is parenting? In other Jesus take the wheels moments, and another reason that I will not be going to New York City ever, ever, invasive parachuting giant spiders. I mean, New York City, I'm afraid we're gonna have to quarantine you. This is we that you shall not pass, spiders. I am willing to go to any length to keep these spiders from increasing and multiplying in the United States. Vote for me for president, 'cause this is a heck nah, y'all. This is nope. No, we will not be doing this. It's raining giant spiders. Spiders that can float on the air and grow to the size of a human hand have been invading the US for more than a decade. Just no. Y'all, we have all seen arachnophobia. We have to nip this in the bud right now. We're we're just no, it's just we are not allowed to do this. Y Nope. And they could be touching down in New York just in time for summer. Uh, Commonly known as the Joro spider, they're native to East Asia and are known for spinning massive sticky webs. They have recently been confirmed as far north as Maryland, and new research suggests that they will land in New York and New Jersey as early as this summer, according to Clemson University professor David Coyle. Uh, well, no, not really. I'm more worried about the rats. Unfortunately, these are floating spiders. I did not have this on my bingo card, but between, Hasidic men, you know, emerging from the sewers, I guess it's not really you're right. New York has bigger things to worry about, although Snake Plissket, oof. I mean, Russell Crowe in or not Russell Crowe, Russell what's his face in, leather pants. I'm okay. Let's see, they have recently been confirmed oh, the Big Apple will be happy to hear that many of the well-known ideas about Juro spiders are actually misconceptions. No, Skynet, we will not listen to you. I know you have been, nope, you are in league with the spiders if you're trying to, make me like them, and I'm sorry, but you're a traitor to humanity if you're going with the spiders. Yeah, no. I'm okay with these not ever coming to our neck of the woods. Now, they can let's see here. While some Joros can grow bodies up to 4 inches long with legs that can stretch about or them out to the size of a human hand, most of them stay between the size of a nickel and a quarter, Coyle said. Realistically speaking, the body can get to be an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, 3 inches across tops. Sir, you keep updating and upgrading these sizes like I'm not paying attention to the fact that 1 inch is what you first said, and then 1 inch and a quarter, and then daggone 3 inches. Sir, Imma need you to look me dead in my eyes and tell me the real size of these spiders, because I feel like you're softballing me. The females are brightly colored with yellow bodies with gray or blue stripes, while the males are typically brown. Male Joros are usually on the smaller side, Cole said, but there's good news here too. They're pretty docile and they don't threaten humans. That's what they want you to believe. I'm about to go full Alex Jones on some spider, you know, Final Destination stuff right here. Joro spiders can bite, but only when they feel threatened. Yeah, but how is the spider gonna perceive me and my potato gun? Because yeah, I'm pretty docile until I'm provoked too, come to think of it. Maybe the spiders are just afraid of me as I am of them, but I'm still bigger. I'm gonna keep checking the toilets now. Arachnophobia's got me again. The species is known for its ability to travel using wind currents, though Coyle clarified that the parachuting is limited to a specific time in the spider's life cycle. That only happens after each egg hatches, and that's already happened for the year, so there's no more parachuting happened. So wait, you decided to wait till the crack of noon to break this story after they were flying everywhere? New York Post. I generally don't get mad at you, but you've been sitting on this story. You didn't tell us about, flying spider creatures. What is up with media today? After the spider eggs hatch in spring, the poppy-sized spiderlings set out strands of silk, which are then picked up by the wind and allow them to float across the sky. This ballooning effect is high risk, high reward, as most of the spiderlings don't actually survive the initial trip. Well, now I feel bad for rooting for that. While Joro spiders are pretty docile and aren't dangerous to humans, New Yorkers should be on the lookout for their webs, which can stretch across multiple feet. They like more open areas where things fly into their web, Cole said, noting that they are often found between power lines or on the edge of natural areas. They tend to prey on some of the region's more pesky insects, including mosquitoes and biting fleas or flies. The Juros won't threaten New Yorkers this summer, but native spider species should probably be on the lookout, the professor continued. We have observed that there's high number of Joros and there's a reduced number of native spiders. They're having an impact. We're not exactly sure what that impact is. We need Dr. Doolittle. Audio coffee. I don't know if this is one of the fever dreams that happens near the end of times, but I mean, I do not know. Any hoozle, apparently we're supposed to be okay with the fact that they withheld this. When I am president, there will be no, need for Freedom of Information Acts to figure out what spiders are plotting next. It's just I won't allow it. Okay, where was that? Aha. I knew I found it. Well, if you're still trying to find a Big Mac that won't cost you a mortgage, this is supposed to be a tool to help you. This McCheapest map is a tool helping people save money on their Big Macs. Yes. You'll be loving this new hack to save on your McDonald's order. As fast food prices continue to skyrocket across the US, the McCheapest map is the key to finding out if you're being ripped off. The McCheapest map is the brainchild of British analyst Sasha Foreigner, tracking the price of a Big Mac at every McDonald's location across the US. I mean, that's a lot of math that went into doing that. It actually kinda looks pretty. I'm like, "Wow, all the places where you can get a Big Mac. I wonder why our country's so fluffy." Look, the concentration in the Midwest is probably apropos. The tool color codes locations based on their prices. Green dots represent the best deals in the nation, while red labeled locations have the most expensive burgers at the fast food joint. I-90 drivers stopping at Lee McDonald's uh, in Massachusetts will pay a whopping $8.09 for a Big Mac, according to the map. Those going to the cheapest Mickey D's pay less than half of what a burger costs in Lee. In Stigler, Oklahoma, the franchise slings Big Macs for $3.49. Across New York, the prices vary by location. The cheapest Big Macs are $5.39 at some locations in the Bronx and Queens. The priciest Big Mac is $6.69 at Worcester Avenue in the Bronx. While it's unlikely that people are going to swap up which drive-through they frequent on their way to work, McCheapest Map is a fun way of seeing how your favorite locations compare with the rest of the country. Similarly, McDonald's lover can check out McBroken Map, which tracks whether the ice cream machine at the Golden Arches is working, which is never. It is never like, they finally make a McFlurry, which I know I shouldn't even be eating because like, sugar and stuff, but they finally make it in my favorite flavor, like the Werther's Original Candies, and y'all can't find a daggone ice cream maker to save their lives. When I'm president, it's probably one of my only few executive orders. And in our final story, because I just thought that maybe we all needed a bit of a laugh and, well, it's a poop museum. I mean, it's fossilized poop, but it's still a poop museum. World's largest coprolite collection becomes the Arizona Poop Museum. Oh my god. I need to find Sal, and I need him to get me a T-shirt. Like, I went to this museum, and all I got was this shitty shirt. Y'all, Poop Sam, if you need T-shirts, I can work on some ideas. They're probably gonna be irreverent. The owner of the world's largest collection of fossilized poop is now showing off his collection of dino droppings and other ancient waste in his Poopseum in Arizona. Oh, you guys, I if I lived in Arizona, which I wouldn't because it's too daggone hot, but oh my gosh, we must send Sal to this. Sal has an on location, which reminds me I do need to click that to copy it. But we definitely need to send Sal here. I just think it's good for humanity. He needs to go. George Franson earned the Guinness World Record for the world's largest collection of coprolites, the scientific term for fossilized poo, in 2015 with 1,277 fossils that once graced the digestive tract of ancient animals. You know, what I do love about what this says about us is if you all liked Blind Melon like I did when MTV still played music videos, but we're all just that bee chick, just tapping, 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 hoping to find our bee people. I'm hope he finds his fossilized poop people, but, I mean, this just looks quirky enough for me to go, but I can't imagine that he's gonna get a shit ton of v of museum goers. Oh my gosh, please let me make T-shirts for this. You'll have a shit ton of fun at the poop museum. Hire me. I'll work for free, just send me the T-shirts. Uh, Franson turned his collection, which now numbers 8,000. Okay, so do we think that this guy he doesn't look like he's married, or maybe he does, but your pickup line is like, "What do you do?" "I collect fossilized poop." but I have a museum. I know this chick that makes funny T-shirts. Sir, I'll help you. I'll be your wing woman from way back here. I just Yes. Oh my goodness. So now he has 8,000 pieces into a virtual exhibit and took the physical coprolites around to various museums as a touring exhibition for years. So he packed his shit and left. This joke is not gonna get unused. I'm gonna be using poo and Well, everyone has to have a hobby. Several years ago, I noticed a glaring absence of coprolite representation. So wait, we need poo representation. He's like, "I fight for the poos." What in the Mr. Hanky Christmas poo is this? This is what happens when South Park teaches an entire generation. No, I like home field advantage like normal people. I am a Louise. I go, "Nope." The Poop Zam, billed as the world's premier dinosaur poop museum and gift shop, offers free admission to all visitors. Our revenue is generated primarily through the dinosaur-themed gift shop, ensuring access to knowledge and discovery remains unrestricted. Yeah, you don't wanna lock that shit up. Alright, I am totally not mature enough to have a nearly 18-year-old and a nearly 16-year-old. I really am not. I keep looking around for more adulty people to adult me. But there you go. So if you are, looking for a fun place to go in Arizona, and now I will have to bully Sal into going, join the Poop Museum. I mean, let's get this show started. Have a wonderful evening. I am not sending you guys to anywhere. I will be on tomorrow at 8 AM, and then tomorrow is date night, so I think I'm gonna try to get Mr. Mo excited for airline disaster. He's like, "What is wrong with you?" Yes. Have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for, as always, joining me on my quest to find the weirdest news ever, and I think I might have hit the poo jackpot today. So, with a bow, I'll take my leave and have a great evening. I will see you all in the morning.